There was a time in my life when I was just surviving, getting through one hard day after another, barely breathing between the broken pieces. And then something shifted in me. I realized I didn't want to just exist anymore. I wanted to live, not just in the quiet, careful ways I had grown used to, but fully, loudly, unapologetically. I wanted to open the windows in the morning and let the sunlight spill in, even if the dishes were still in the sink. I wanted to wear the dress I'd been saving for someday and eat dinner on the good plates, just because I was still here to enjoy them. I started to say the things I used to keep inside, the hard things, the loving things, the things I thought people already knew. I stopped waiting for the perfect moment to celebrate life and started creating those moments myself, even in the middle of messes, even when I felt tired or unsure, because I realized it's not about the job you had or the places you've been. It's not about who noticed you or how many times you got it right. It's about how you show up, how you love, how you live. So go to the game, buy the ticket, call your mom, hug your kids tighter, laugh too loud, cry when you need to, and take a few risks, the kind that scare you a little but set your soul on fire. Don't wait for life to calm down before you start living. This is your one beautiful chance. And I promise, when you look back one day, it won't be the stuff or the status you remember. It'll be the way you lived, the way you loved, and the way you kept going. I used to believe that healing would look like getting everything in order, that I would feel better when my home was spotless, when I was cooking from scratch every night, when I no longer heard the whispers of trauma echo through my mind. But healing doesn't always come with a clean kitchen. Sometimes it comes in the middle of the mess. There were days I couldn't get off the couch, days when just brushing my hair felt like an accomplishment. I remember looking around the house and feeling like I was failing at everything. Dishes in the sink, mail stacked high on the counter, the floor needing to be swept. And the worst part wasn't the mess. It was the guilt that came with it. The belief that I should be doing better, that a good homemaker wouldn't let things fall apart. But slowly, through grace and the passing of time, I began to see it differently. One day, I was standing at the sink, washing dishes with tears rolling down my cheeks. I had just gotten out of another mental hospital, still trying to steady my mind, still unsure of who I was anymore. But there I was, hands in warm water, the scent of soap filling the air. And I realized this is healing too, this small act of care, this quiet moment of trying again. And that's when I really began to understand. Home is not a performance, it's a sanctuary. It's where we are allowed to fall apart and start over, where we're allowed to be both broken and beautiful at the same time. There was a season I didn't leave my house for nearly 6 years, not because I didn't want to, but because I couldn't. Fear kept me prisoner. PTSD wrapped its arms around me and wouldn't let go. I missed birthdays. I missed weddings. I missed simple things like standing in the sun or feeling the wind on my face. During that time, my home became both a comfort and a cage. It was safe, yes, but it was also lonely. The walls that protected me also separated me from the world. And yet, even in that darkness, home remained the place I turned to. Now I make my bed, not because I have to, but because it's one small thing I can control. Some days, home was the only place I could let the tears fall. I'd sit on the edge of my bed and whisper, "God, please don't let me disappear." And somehow, in the quiet of that little room, I always felt heard. Over time, I started reclaiming small pieces of myself through homemaking, through baking, through creating beauty in tiny ways. I'd light a candle in the afternoon just because it smelled like cinnamon and reminded me of my mama's kitchen. I'd play soft music while making soup and pretend, even just for a moment, that life was simple and good. And that's the thing about home. It gives us room to practice joy, even when we're not sure we're ready for it. And little by little, my home began to change. Not the walls or the furniture, but the feeling. It started to feel warm again, alive. A place where healing wasn't rushed or judged, but nurtured. Tim helped with that too. He never pressured me to leave the house. Never made me feel broken. He'd bring me a cup of coffee in the morning and sit quietly beside me, not needing words, just being there. His presence reminded me that love doesn't always come with grand gestures. It shows up in the small, steady ways. A door held open, a light left on, a warm meal at the end of a hard day. Now, years later, we're getting married. July 10th. After all the nights I wondered if I'd ever be truly loved again. After everything we've walked through, it feels like such a full circle moment. A new beginning wrapped inside a love that's been through fire and still chose to stay. July 10th. It still feels surreal to say. And yes, after a few of you asked, Tim and I did create a wedding registry. It's linked below, just in case you'd like to peek. But most of all, your prayers and kind words have already blessed us more than you know. And as I prepare for that new chapter, I keep thinking about all the homes we build within our homes. The soft places, the safe corners, the memories tucked into the folds of blankets, and the smell of bread baking on a cold morning. The quiet prayers whispered while folding laundry. The hope written in handwritten notes stuck to the fridge. So if your home doesn't feel peaceful right now, if it feels chaotic or lonely or simply unfamiliar, I understand. Truly, I do. Maybe you just moved and nothing feels like yours yet. Maybe you're grieving a life that no longer exists. Maybe your children have grown and the house is too quiet. Or maybe you're just overwhelmed and tired, unsure where to begin. Here's what I want you to hear. Home is not something you have to earn. It's something you create, moment by moment. You don't have to wait for everything to be perfect. You don't have to wait until you feel better or more capable. Start where you are. Use what you have. And let the act of caring for your space slowly care for you in return. Bake something simple, even if it's just a box mix. Put on music you haven't listened to in years. Sit by the window with a cup of tea. Use your favorite mug, not the chipped one. You're allowed to feel joy again. You're allowed to live inside your own life. I try to remind myself every day to stop holding in all the things I haven't said, to use the good dishes, to make messes and not feel ashamed, to wear the red dress I've been saving for someday, and to stop spending so much time looking back at what I lost. Because what matters most isn't the job you had or the house you live in. It's how you live inside of it. I've met a lot of people over the years who think homemaking is about perfection, about keeping things picture perfect. But homemaking is about heart. It's in the way you straighten the pillow before settling into your favorite chair, the way you run a cloth over the kitchen counter, not just to tidy up, but to quiet your thoughts. It's in the soft ticking of the clock hanging in the living room, in the pair of worn shoes by the front door, a silent sign that someone you love made it home. Home is a reflection of the life you're living, not the life you wish you had. And that's beautiful. It's sacred. It's real. You are allowed to enjoy your home, even if it isn't what you dreamed of. You're allowed to stop saving everything for later. Later isn't promised. But this moment right here, it's yours. So dance in the kitchen, laugh at the dinner that didn't turn out, kiss your person goodnight and say, "I love you" out loud. Call your kids even if they're busy. Visit your mama even if it's just for a few minutes. Take chances. Let the music play loud. Say what you mean. Say it now, because someday you'll look back and it won't be the messes you remember. It'll be the moments, the ordinary days that turned out to be extraordinary simply because you chose to live them fully. And if no one else tells you this today, let me be the one. You are doing better than you think. Your home is more beautiful than you realize. And you're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be to begin again. So take that next step. Light the candle, put on the song, make the soup, sit in the quiet, invite joy back in, not as a guest, but as part of your daily rhythm. This is your life, and this, right here, is your home. You don't need anyone's permission to love it. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I pray that something in this video whispered to your heart, reminded you that you are not alone, that your home is worth loving, and that your life is still unfolding in beautiful ways. If you'd like more encouragement like this, I invite you to join our YouTube memberships. We gather for tea with me every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, a little time set aside just for us homemakers to sip, chat, and lift each other up. This little home of ours, though it's far from fancy, is filled with more love than I ever thought possible. Tim washes dishes while I dry. I light the candle. We laugh in the kitchen and share quiet moments on the couch. And after years of pain, this home has become sacred ground, not because it's perfect, but because it's ours, and because we choose joy every single day.